So here's a funny behavior I wanted to talk about. So this dog is really into people. It's a 5-month-old puppy. Every time I go to the right, he goes to the right. When I try to go to the left, he goes to the left. I go to the right, he goes to the right. So he's really into following me wherever I am. So I'm trying to get him to stop doing that so much and just get used to me being around and being calm. So he's a lot better than another Labrador I have that will not show stationary behaviors, like a commitment to them, such as sitting when I am trying to take him out. So I'm working on taking him through the door and his manners. So of course when we go to the door, most of our dogs immediately know an auto SIT. So they know that they have to do that because that's what gets them out. I have another Labrador who's over 1 year old, and he does not do this. He's really been challenging us. So we are not happy with our head collar, which we do have to wear, so we do kind of fight going in it. I'm just gonna put that there for a moment. And then I'm gonna take my lead. I've been trying to work on these guys because they do wear head collars if they get strong, or it is a tool that we need to use. I'm trying to work on these guys wearing their head collars. So I'm going to take him into the grass. Normally he just goes in the grass. Normally, when I was working for another guide dog school, well, good boy, busy, and touching him. I was doing that. Now, while I was working for another guide dog school, I never toileted the dogs in the head collar. They always would rub, so it was a distraction, so we'd take it off. But Jay and I do like to toilet the dogs in the head collar because it is kind of inconvenient for the clients to have to take it off if they do wear a head collar and then put it back on. And they can be a little strong in it, like our shepherds tend to put a little pressure on the lead when they're doing a toilet. You can really trail down the lead so that they are doing a poo or something. I want to put him in the playpen, so of course he has to do a poo before he goes in the playpen, because sometimes running around will stimulate us. Just gonna let him do what he wants, but he's got better skills than one of my adult dogs that's starting to challenge us, which is really odd. It's a very odd behavior. It's way past the time frame of his age where they would show that behavior. They're usually super compliant by the time they hit, what is he, February baby, March, April, May, June, July, August. 18 months he is. Yeah, it's usually really compliant by 18 to 24 months. It's like we're sailing through guide dog training at that point. But he is not. He's presenting a lot of difficult behaviors, whereas this puppy is like more compliant. But he's going to get into the bad period too. And we're trying to figure out what went wrong. I had an injury where I had to sell off some of the dogs, and because I only had inexperienced staff, and I didn't want to really deal with that at the time. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to mark that with my foot. Usually give him a little touch just to let him know. That in there, so they know that's where the poop is and that's where the client will pick it up. All right, so pick that up later. We're gonna go over here. Here we're gonna go have a play. So I was talking this morning about dogs that are difficult with their gait manners. And I'll just show on my young puppy his gait manners. Here we go. Really nice auto sit, but then we lunge into the room, and that's not what I want. So we're gonna wait till we sit. Very exuberant. I would make him normally do that again, but he can get a little diminished personality sometimes when I do things too much. So I'm just gonna kind of wait because I want to keep his motivation. I don't want him to be one of those pups that's not motivated. No, you're not loose yet. It's very exciting, I know. But he comes back over and offers to sit again. And I have that other lab that you guys saw that is not doing that. He's more like, no, there we go, go for it. And we can play now. I have that other lab that is just not offering that at all. Now this toy, I'm gonna give a shout out to Jolly Ball. They're very expensive. I think that one was $100. All right, they're very expensive toys, but this Jolly Ball, that's the small one, the dog one, we've had that for 10 years. And they chewed the handle off of it, but we bought that for the horses. And I'm gonna say this is probably all of the dogs' favoriteest toy. We probably should get 5 more of them. And they're just virtually indestructible, and of course all monitored play. That's the old Jolly Ball. I shoved one of those tug ropes into it and I can't get it out now, but they like playing with that too. But yeah, this is a big bouncy ball for the horses to play with in the paddock, and the horses didn't really play with it, plus I was always having to retrieve it out of the dam. So yeah, they have these little ones too. These are made by Kong. They do like these ones, but I'm telling you, and they squeak and have a ball inside of them. So we have one for each of the kennels. Giggly balls. These are balls that he gets activated when he hears that ball. From the noise, he gets a little activated from it. Not quite sure, like his excitement level just seems to do some zoomies after he has a stressful experience, such as maybe a bath or something. He'll come out and get really zoomy-ish. And we do have swallows, unfortunately, back it up, that are pooping because they're living up in the rafter at night, which is so annoying. So I don't know, we're gonna have to go up there and put something to deter them from coming in there. But yeah, we've got dogs scavenging bird poop, unfortunately. I don't know what to do about that. But yeah, so if you're looking for some good dog toys and some recommendations, again, Jolly Ball. Expensive, but definitely at Staple Working Dog. That is our dog's favorite toy. This is the old one. You can see all the teeth marks in that. They just keep their form. They keep their form. They're meant to be stepped on, and like a basketball is going to deflate, these don't. They stay and keep their form all the time. So one of the best ones we had. Oh, some of our other equipment that we really love here. Give a shout out to Caranda beds. We buy them through Therian here, who's a distributor, but metal sides, ballistic vinyl. I don't know if you can make out the scratch marks in there, because dogs, when they're kenneled out here, when it's warmer, they will scratch in the beds. I mean, these beds have held up to so much. You can get them with the plastic on the edges, but I found that those break, so we always do the metal. And this is the large, and then we have a couple of the medium ones. The legs do come off of these, so you can put them in as a kennel mat, but I think that cuts down on your height in the kennel and a little overkill. I mean, dogs need to have the freedom, I think, to be able to get off of the bed if they want to be off of the bed. And if you put it in a kennel, it's like, no, you're going to lie on this piece of nylon that's flexible, and that's just the way it's going to be. So I like to just make the kennel just the kennel, and maybe put a blanket in there that they can shove into the corner if they don't want it. Another awesome thing for kennels, especially us who don't have a permanent location, is these kennel panels. I was trying to think who makes these kennel panels. Create your own enclosure, modular pet enclosure gate. Yeah, so he'll stop playing when I come out, because he's just really in touch with people. Oh, there we go. What does that say? Rapid Mesh pet enclosure. Awesome. We've had these for 10 years. We actually bought them for a Neapolitan Mastiff that we had. We sold it and then realized how much we needed them and had to buy them again. So they come, they're quick to put together. It took us maybe an hour to put them together. Each one has 2 of the connectors. You can get the wide gate or you can get the narrow gates. So this enclosure for the playpen has 3 gates on it, 2 smalls. You can get smaller, thinner panels, so that's just the thinner panel, so that you can actually make it any size you want. And then this is the old outdoor play area. I run dogs on cement. I just find that cement is better because it doesn't rip up and stuff. We've had this one since January. It's been like 6 months, 8 months. So it's, you know, it's muddy. They tear up the grass when they're running. It's just, running dogs on grass in a terminal situation is just, like, unless it's a huge amount of acreage, it just doesn't work. So that's just a little bit about some of the stuff we use here, and I can show you as we go through some of the stuff we use as well, like collars and like different equipment and stuff. And you can't fault these Bunnings industrial fans. Awesome. Like the most high power fan. These are made by Dynabreeze. And they're just really awesome fans. They keep it super cool in here. They're good for noise. They're great for the horses too. And that's just some of the stuff that we use at Staples.